Hello, everybody. It is the start of the 2022.1 Sim Legends series tonight. Really looking forward to this one. It's an old classic. These Maserati V12s. They're a handful. We've had some fun races, some fun ad hoc races on them before, but I'm really looking forward to it. As a quick mention of what's happening tonight, we have not a revised format. It is just the cars that we're driving, harkening back to the old 50s. Nick has made a very nice reveal about that last season. I'd recommend people go and find that in one of the later streams. And I'll also want to just quickly say thank you to Peter Geldenhuis, who graciously put together that little intro showcasing each of the houses. I find it really nice to see something like that coming up, and it kind of breaks the whole "ooh, this is the mold that SimRace South Africa is." These are probably not the most beginner friendly cars, but I'm sure we're in for a bunch of fun tonight, and it's going to be about who can do those consistent laps, even if they're not absolutely blisteringly fast. Just a quick, in terms of tonight, in all of my rush, I did not quite get all of the things that I wanted. I can quickly show where we're driving. So we're on one of the old Silverstone layouts. Our server says that this is a Silverstone 1967. I think this is the right one. Based on where the last time I drove on this looks like the right layout. It looks like the right layout that I saw in game. So I'm hoping that this is not hoping. I'm sure that this is the correct info. Unfortunately, in terms of weather, I did not manage to get that right now. I can quickly give the basic info. So weather for tonight is we're at 12 p.m. Nice 15 degrees ambient temperature. There's a 5 kilometer northeastern wind. The road temperature is around 16%, and the starting grip is at 99% with it taking 5 laps to gain. So overall, maybe not quite a realistic tracks setting, because the old tracks used to be quite a bit dusty. From not really running those soft slicks that can really rubber in a track. But before we take over into the next session, I want to quickly show the lap guide video that Mr. Nick Hodgson had put together for us. So here we go.
Alright, good evening everybody, and welcome to the first round of the Sim Legends series here at SimRace SA for the 2022.1 season. We are, of course, in the Maserati 250F V12, and we are at Silverstone 1967. What a track to start the season off. Across the start-finish line we go, under the bridge, braking just before the 100 board. Using the brakes to turn the car in at cops, a little bit of trail braking there, back on the power, all the way out wide, getting the best possible exit, bringing the car out to the right hand side to make this corner as narrow as possible. Maggots, wide as possible I should say. Maggots flat out on the brakes again just before that board on the left into Beckett's, drifting the car a little bit through here. Could have done this a little better, I must say, but exiting, keeping a nice narrow line. You want to be all the way on the right hand side so you can take Chapel absolutely flat out, just managing the oversteer there. Ooh, a little bit of grass. We definitely lost a little bit on the hanger straight there, but here we go, looking for our braking zone just between those two markers, and down into third into Stowe. Very tricky corner this, keeping the car nice and tight and getting a good exit. All about getting a good exit here. And once again, looking for our next braking marker, absolutely flat out 200, just after the 100, bang, on the brakes, into third in club. You can take club a little bit quicker than you think you might be able to, getting a good exit once again, into fourth, and looking for the trickiest corner in the whole track for me, flicking the car through Abby and back on the power early, riding those bumps, really wants to throw the car off, but if you do it right, it'll gain you a huge amount of time. Farm straight now, under the bridge we go, looking for our braking marker just by that concrete on the left there, managing the car through Woodcut. Definitely, again, could have done this a little bit better, but across the line we go for a 1 minute 43.569.
All right. As always, thank you so much, Nick, for putting together these laps for us. It's great getting this insight. My personal finding was it takes a little bit of adjusting your driving style to get used to these. But once you've gotten used to them, it's a lot of fun. As we see Valerio and Tanichi sliding the car, as you should be sliding these cars around the corner. Ooh, understeer, and that was one of the things that I found when I was driving a bit. I completely messed up. I should have made a cheat sheet of who is in which house for this race, so I'll try and track that down. In the meantime, I'll just say hello to those on the YouTube chat there. So hello Hilton, Philip, and Dirkie Swanepoel. Dirkie, I know it's been a long time. Oh, and there's Mr. James Leach as well. Dirkie, I know it's been a long time. You need to come show face one day again. Like, try and make a plan. Hopefully you can get back soon. Right. Nick is, it looks like he has started his first hot lap, so 10 minutes, not a lot of time to get a lap in here. He is about 3 seconds quicker on his delta for that sector, so he is definitely putting in a fast lap here. Coming down to Stowe. Stowe, of course, being a legendary corner on Silverstone that's still present today. Although that barrier on the inside is definitely not helping things. I think I've driven into that barrier multiple times, or I've found myself in the ditch next to the road. So Nick Hodgson, of course. Okay, I do know that Nick is the house captain for... let me just get the list of names for House Pakisa. For Kilani, now I can't remember who was captain for Kilani. I can quickly find that. Give me a moment. Right. So, Mr. Carl Steeg, I don't think he is online tonight. Or, let me just double check my timing app. Doesn't look like he is online tonight from what I can see. He's in the pits maybe. Right, so let him get on with his thing. I'll try and find some quick times. We do see some times popping up. So Nick Hodgson 2 seconds quicker than Francois Erasmus. But time's popping in now. I think from here on it's just going to be about doing some more consistent laps. Ooh, someone there right behind Christy Simon. This might be a bit of a cork in the bottle. But it might also be some good race practice, just getting a feel for driving around one another. As you can clearly see lots of steering movement there just to make sure they keep control over the cars. So Pieter, our one of our all-time drivers, Pieter Geldenhuys, he is the captain of House Kyalami. Mr. Brett Krokamp is captain of House Kilani. Unfortunately, he can't be here tonight. And then it seems Mr. Carl Steeg is captain of House Aldous Kubanti. So some well-known names there. It's all about just trying to get a sense of community there. Give everybody a chance to take part. And Nick goes faster yet again. Stefan Herbst is proving that he is not too slow compared to Nick. He's just 7/10 off of him there. go fine. Looks like, ooh, Valerio has a bit of a snap there on the main straight. That drops his delta down, but he is going to be starting a new lap. Let me see, Bjorn Buchner, he is 1/10, almost 2/10 up on his delta, so still loads of time, but he runs it very, very close to the edge of the track there. I had a bit of a mistake. Oh, Bjorn crosses the line, just losing a bit out there at the last corner, Woodcote. Let's see, Francois Erasmus, 6/10 up on his delta, so he is, gets very squirrely there, and that causes him to lose a bunch of time. I think that was at Stowe, so he's got to go around and go try again. Christy Simon, currently not on the timing list yet. He's maybe struggling to put together a clean lap, but his delta is climbing ever so much. So hopefully he can keep it clean and keep it together for this lap. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast in these cars. Although counterintuitively, I've learned that you kind of steer the car with the throttle. There's a bit of commitment where you have to get on the throttle early in order to get the car to rotate through the corner. You're almost drifting through the corner, and there are loads and loads of understeer, and once it kicks in, you can almost snap out into a lot of oversteer. So Christy Simon pops up with a 148.4. Sean Bingham, hello there. Glad to have people here. Let's go find Ryan van Wyk, 11 seconds up on his delta. Don't see him on the timing sheet yet, so let's see where he pops up. Okay, that's at the back of the grid. He is 4/10 behind Ryan Hill. And I see Ryan Hill just started an outlap, so maybe he invalidated. I'm trying to remember though, I think I saw Ryan van Wyk at the Kyalami, the virtual Kyalami 9 hour yesterday, so he might not have had the amount of prep that he was maybe hoping for. I'll try and come back to him later. Bradley Taylor, also not on the timings list just yet. He's 1.8 seconds up on his delta. Does look, so he's about 4 seconds adrift from Nick Hodgson, it seems, at sector 2. Let's see if he can get a decent lap in there. There is going to be a bit more of a spread here, but as I said, these cars are sensitive. They take long to repair. It's going to be about who can keep their nose clean, more so than who can race the best going wheel to wheel, I believe. Bradley Taylor, okay, he pops up at the back of the grid, so maybe he can put together another lap. Ooh, looks like he's parking. He's not going to have enough time to go at it again. Right, Renier Leach, 12 seconds up on his delta. I don't see him up on the timing screen just yet. I've missed him at the... Oh no, he invalidated. Did he? No, he did not. Okay, 146.4. Drivers clearly showing their hand. Well, not showing their hand. They're showing that they're giving it their all right now. I do see Mr. Nick Hodgson. He is right up there. He's set the time 2 seconds faster than the next driver. Byron Thompson, also I think one of our drivers that still needs to set a lap time. So this, if he can't get this lap done, he might be right at the back. Oh no. Mr. Alan Patterson, hello there. Right, so that's it. That's qualifying. We've got Nick, Roan Greiling, and Francois Erasmus at the front end of the grid. I'm going to go for a quick short ad break, and then we'll be back with the start of this magnificent old-timey race. Alright, looks like I jumped the gun there a little bit early. In YouTube there, I think that's Stephen Kenny, Mr. YouTube. Welcome. Hope everybody's in for a great race. Well, at least spectating on a great race tonight. Just while everything is happening, at the last moment, Mr. Valerio Antonucci managed to bump himself from, I think it was 12th or 11th, up into 7th position. Something interesting to note, I did mention that on the front row it will be Mr. Nick Hodge and Roan Greiling and Pieter Geldenhuys. It's important to know that on this track, cars start 3 abreast. And there is, well, if any, I don't think there is any difference between how far apart they start. So yes, there I've jumped to pits. Let me go find P3 quickly, Pieter Geldenhuys. And let's see if we can get a different camera. Right at the back of the grid. Look at the heat coming off them. Let's see what this is like. So, no advantage, it seems, at all. Nick Hodgson on the outside, he's going to have to work really hard at this one. Okay, lights are coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully drop the clutch and away they go. Nick is off to an absolute flying start. Byron Thompson manages a blistering start as well. There's a lot of cars abreast there. Let's hope that they can all spot their braking mark into turn 1. Brave cameraman there. Hello Hardis, just in time for the race start. So Nick Hodgson up in front. There's a bit of movement up and down the field. I do see Mr. Carlstein has managed to get onto the track tonight, so we've got good 17 out of the 19 entrants here. So this is probably the closest and tightest battle right now. I'm expecting things to... Ooh, someone ran very, very wide. That might be Christy Simon. Yes. This is dropping down a bit. Everybody doing well to get through this first lap. The new Leach and Pieter Geldenhuys coming together. Oh no, what happened there? Him and Christy Simon really battling it out there. Christy just losing out on the position there, but it looks like he's hanging onto the tail there. Ooh, someone runs slightly wide. But I am really impressed. Ah, that's commentator's curse for you. Just as I was about to say I'm impressed, it looks like Bradley Taylor loses it on the main straight. Hopefully he can get it going. Let's try and jump up ahead to Francois Erasmus. Right on... Well, okay, he just manages to sneak past Bjorn Buchner. Hear those V12s roar. Hey Rob, yes, this is the type of racing. I've been excited for this. I was a little worried that it's going to be a bit of a beast to handle, but it looks like everybody is relatively to grips with this car. So Cordier and Bjorn Buchner losing out a bit there, just so ever so slightly, maybe not able to quite hold on to the pace there. Let's go see what happened to Alan Deneur, Peter Geldenhuis, Carl Stieg and Christy Simon. They're riding in a very tight back there. Ooh, two abreast. One might not. Okay, they both managed to keep it on track. Oh no, that looks like Christy ran slightly wide. Ooh, and up in front, Franco Erasmus is also making more moves. I am absolutely amazed at how close together these cars are still. Luckily, there's no pit strategies involved here. It's all going to be down to a raw race pace tonight. Mr. Barry Mayer, I don't believe it's a forced clutch. I think in this situation, we're trying to cater for as many people as possible. So instead of forcing people to use hardware that they... Yes, okay, I can confirm it is an auto clutch. So we're trying to still encourage people to be able to race this. So if you don't have an H pattern shifter and you don't have a clutch pedal, that makes it a little difficult if you want to put it. But yes, Rob, no silly arrow. Right, Byron Thompson and Bjorn Buchner wrapping things out now. And they're closely followed by Valerio Antonucci. Side by side, Abby there. Ooh, that feels so dangerous. But Peter Geldenhuis is also right on the tail of Ryan Hill here. And it's now going to come down to who can get the good exit onto the main straight out of Woodcote. I might be mispronouncing that. Thank you, Rob. I'm nursing a bit of a frog in my throat at the moment. Ooh, Ryan Hill gets extremely sideways there. Runs just wide, but he's going to be able to keep it going. Oh, that looked very classy until he just lost it and had to run wide. But still, my memories of this track and this car combo is that if once you run wide, you have to be very, very careful not to overcook it when rejoining. Up in front, Byron Thompson, 2/10 up. Oh no, just got unsighted there. And he's not going to be able to slow that down. That is unfortunate. Let's rather not watch his agony. I feel for the man. It's difficult under braking to keep this car straight if you're not careful. So Renier Leach closing that gap on Alan Deneur. Yes, Alan, I wanted to say that, but now I'm afraid that the more I say it, the more I'm gonna cause commentators curse. So just leave me alone. Right, Ryan van Beek managing to slip by Sean Levege. And he does a 1:47.9, 3/10 quicker than Sean behind him. I would have actually loved to have a list of lap times just to see what the consistency is for everybody. Just jumping back to Valerio Antonucci now. I am keeping an eye there on Ryan Hill's gap to Carl Stieg. But it's about keeping up your momentum here and Rob, I can confirm in triples this is quite an amazing car to drive. You're not looking out the front that much as you would expect. Right, lots of movement there. I think Alan Deneur had a bit of a moment. But I'm going to quickly bump to Ryan Hill there. He is getting very close to Carl Stieg now. Can they out... Who's going to outbrake who? Ryan manages to keep it straight. It did look almost for a moment there that Carl Stieg ran into the barrier, but I don't think so. Maybe just slowing down a bit more than Ryan expected on the apex. Ooh, Carl almost running wide and losing it. Watching that gap between Ryan van Wyk and Sean with a hawk's eye. But it's relaxed now. This is definitely the closest battle. They're side by side on the farm straight. It's really tough with how much these cars understeer. Ryan manages to slip past, so Ryan taking that wider line, not suffering so much from understeer because he can take that easy line. Yes, Rob, you are 100% correct. My experience with these cars is that its cornering is all down to throttle control. So, Christy Simon also now making his way past Carl Stieg. Into Beckett's. Oh, just clips the inside barrier. That is not what you want to do. Ooh, you need to be careful for driving too far backwards. Rather go find a different battle. Sean Verveje on the back of Ryan van Wyk there. That gap has been concertinaing back and forth quite a bit. Rob, can you please see yourself out? Yes, Barry, those windshields do look a bit sensitive, but I think it's a good compromise, as it's one indication of when your damage is starting to maybe get a little bit severe. I do see Christy Simon in the pits, so he maybe had to bump to pits so that he can recover the car. He'll be there with locked controls for a while, but hopefully he can get it back going. As I said, it's all about keeping your nose clean. Valerio Antonucci, and as I jump to him, that gap just explodes to over a second. Let's go back to Sean. Sean and Ryan. Ryan must be watching his mirrors now, because that gap has been close for quite a while. One thing I'm not sure about is if there's any tow involved in these cars. So like if you're sitting behind someone, if you can gain an extra bit of speed, because it does look like people are trying to stay within one another's tow. Oh yes, Peter Geldenhuis being one of the house captains. Let's go and have a look at how he's coming along. He is the house captain for House Kyalami. He's also the man to thank for all of these lovely house-specific liveries. I personally think he managed a great feat with these. I'm really loving the look of these liveries. Someone is going to have to make a compilation again, but I almost had a little bit of poo coming out there. I know how much, how panicked one can get when understeering out of Abby there. Right, so the battle between Carl and Ryan not done yet. Ryan hasn't managed to drop Carl Steele completely. Who is that running so well? Okay, that looks like Christy Simons was trying to just get out of the way for people lapping. Hopefully he can recover. I think he did. So, almost a three-way battle between Sean, Ryan, and Bjorn. I think Bjorn might have to just have a quick look behind him so that he's aware. Three of the four houses battling it out for 5th, 6th, and 7th position here. Part of me just wants to turn up the sound a bit. Although that didn't work quite as expected. Right, so Yuri having a moment there. I think I heard him going off. Just a lot of tire bouncing on loose ground. But he's back going. And going to be hunting down Byron Thompson. Initially, I actually didn't expect Maggots to be a flat-out corner, but once you start feeling very brave, ooh, there's a bit of damage at the rear of that car. Once you start feeling the bravery step in, you just plant your foot and you throw the car through that corner. And the same goes for Chapel. There's quite a bit of commitment needed to make the corner, but it feels so nice when you do. Right, this battle's still alive. Peter just dipping a wheel there. He's done very well for himself on his recovery drive. He started out 3rd, I believe. Had a bit of a moment and fell back all the way. Lots of movement up and down the field. I'll jump back to them if I see things. Ooh, maybe to Rainier Leach. He is on the back of Yuri there. Yuri fighting hard to keep Rainier behind him. Ooh, Rainier. Keep it together, keep it together. Carries so much more speed there through the last corner. Can he keep it now through Cops? Yes, he does, but I don't think he's going to have the exit that he needs to keep ahead. Maybe? Does he not? Let's see. Okay, yeah, he does. But that's what I mean. You go run so wide, almost off track. You need to be very confident with the move that you make. Just back to Sean. He just doesn't seem to be able to catch up to Bjorn as much as he was maybe hoping. Ooh, Yuri runs wide. That was maybe gonna work, but not quite. Rainier Leach and Valerio Antonucci running very close to one another. Just keep it clean, boys. Something during the break I'll quickly try to do is to set up a speedometer on the stream. These cars are going a lot quicker than I initially thought, and they're basically a death trap on 4 wheels. Just goes to show the amount of bravery that the drivers back in the day had to show with these. Ryan Hill and Bradley Taylor swapping places. But this battle, well, I'm saying battle. Is it a battle if they're not, if there isn't any movement? Sean seems to be closing up on Bjorn now, but not quite getting there. Sean spinning out. Who's that? Peter Geldenhuis behind him. Sean does well to get going. Well, get out of the way. Peter gets going as well. So that's going to cost Sean a bit. And it leaves Peter Geldenhuis free. Oh, Bjorn was also. I missed that. I was looking at some stats, and I completely missed it. Right, so Bjorn and Sean getting tangled up there in a moment. Peter just throwing it into the corner there. But that is how you keep up speed. You want to try and get the rear out slightly so that it can push the car around the corner. Bradley Taylor right on the back of Ryan Hill. So Ryan must have had a moment somewhere. He's now 15 seconds adrift from Carl Steed. But that windshield of Bradley Taylor, who's looking a little bit better, well, a little bit full of cracks. Maybe has had more contact with the barriers than he was hoping for. Up ahead, Peter Geldenhuis and Ryan van Beek. We've got 8 minutes to go. Ryan is going to have to pull out all the stops here if he wants to stay ahead, because Peter has shown he is a very, very capable driver in these cars. Nick just checking out in front. I'll switch to him a little bit later so you can just see how smooth he is on his inputs there. Ryan Peter getting very squirrely there on exit. But he is getting closer and closer as they both dive through maggots. Coming into Beckett's, make sure that you brake early enough, get the car turned in on the throttle so you can accelerate out. Ryan choosing a very tight line there. But it might be beneficial as it would likely give him the exit on the hangar straight to stay ahead. Oh, the confidence Peter just shows on the brakes there. I love it. I would have been so afraid. I would have been braking very early in comparison with the car ahead. Mr. Rob Walker, if this is your kind of car, why are we not seeing you in this car? So Peter just taking a tighter line there. Ooh, gets very squirrely, but I think he's focused on a good exit there, and he runs off the track. Can he keep it together, please, Peter? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Ooh, that was a close one. Go see Sean Viveja right on the back of Byron Thompson. I do see Denair managing to get past Ryan Hill there. Ryan probably having a bit of a moment, judging by the gap that he's now got to Denair. So my gut is telling me there might not be action just yet. I want to quickly jump to Nick Hodgson. He's going to be going through Abby now. No, sorry, that's Maggots. Okay, so he's just started a lap. Currently 5/10 up on his delta. I can't remember how tire wear is on these, although I don't expect them to be wearing too heavily too quickly. Probably not very realistic having a car come over, just the suspension there. Nick just managing the car being a little bit squirmish through Stowe. All beans, all the way almost. So that's a 1:44.3, and I think that's less than half a second off of his quali time. So Nick just flying in this car today. Up in front, what was that, Sean? Yes, that was unfortunate. Instant replay. Let's see if we can get anything. So I was focusing on Nick. And he just lost it there. Oh, that's unfortunate. Right. I do see Sean in the pit, so he must have had a catastrophic failure there on his car. Hopefully he can come back out, not right at the back of the field, just being able to hold on to it. And Ryan van Wyk and Pieter Geldenhuys switch places just as I switch to them. We have 2 minutes to go. I believe Nick should be getting very close to starting his last lap. Antonucci, oh no! Don't let the concentration up, gentlemen. Keep it going. I have a fly that's bothering me. So Nick, I suspect is on his last lap. There might be another lap after this one. But he also has a 39-second gap. So if he wants to, he can just take it very easy. Ooh, who's that right behind him? I suspect that might be... No, that's not Bjorn. I don't know. But Renier trying to close the gap on Ryan van Wyk there. Seconds to go. Let's go find Nick. Should be closing in on his last lap, and he has just started his last lap. So right now that battle for 6th position is going to might come down to the wire. I do see that Sean managed to get it going still in front of Christy Simon. So maybe they were sitting in the pits about an equal amount of time, but Christy has just been struggling to make up time. Valerio Antonucci managing to grab a last minute position there. Just quickly gonna go have a look. So Nick is coming to Stowe now. Engineer is gonna have one more lap to take this battle. It's all about putting down the pressure here. Engineer having much more speed, it seems, through the corner. Slightly wide. Needs to be careful not to jink left and right too much in the braking zone. Ryan may be turning and slide. That was almost into the wall, but Renier doing very well to keep it together there. It's really, really difficult maintaining control once you're under brakes. Back to Mr. Nick Hodgson as he crosses the finish line for a well-deserved first position. So next will be Stefan Herbst. He's probably also had a bit of a lonely race, it seems. But it's a solid drive from him from start to finish. To hold on to second position and not let up. Just ease it back onto the track. Drivers are starting to pile out of the server. Our next race will be starting soon, but I'm just gonna close out this race, and we'll get going once we're back online. Right, so Stefan Herbst clinching second. Duan Kreilen not far behind him. He's taking a well-deserved podium third position there. Franco Erasmus coming in, bringing it home for fourth. Does look like I'm seeing a bunch of Kyalami cars up ahead. Pieter Geldenhuis is proving he's an old hand at this, driving from the back of the field back to fifth. Brian van Wyk taking sixth position for himself. Renier Leach spinning it out there, but he holds on. That was a beautiful pirouette. Alright, I am going to take a quick break. Quick ad break and get on to the next server. I'll see everybody in just a moment. All right, I am back. Oh, sorry, James. I only noticed your message just now. Unfortunately, you would have had to qualify. And also, the server for Race 2 just booted up, so there is absolutely no way you can get in right now. Maybe just join Rainier there on a Discord and whisper sweet nothings into his ear so that you can focus and get some good laps in. We're nearing the end of the practice session. There's a slight reflection of the mirror on that windshield. Alright, so as we now get ready for qualifying, my camera has just stopped freaking out. Sessions should be starting in a moment. I can get my camera app up and running again. Ryan Hill looking like he was the only one that managed to set a lap time. Well, that might have been an outlap, 2:21. Showing up on my screen. Hey there, Daniel. Yeah, thanks. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, that is all on Pieter Geldenhuys. He put together the liveries for this series. He put together that intro video, and I thought it appropriate to use it. I mean, I really like the video that you've put together, but I honestly feel the one that Pieter put together fits so much more, so much better. I actually even wanted to kind of put a sepia filter on the race stream, but then I thought better of it because it might not look as nice with all of our newfangled logos all about the place. Right, Nick out in front, starting his outlap. So 10 minutes, not a lot of time given by the average lap times here. That gives you about 5-6 laps. So make that first one count, and it might be useful to then be out in front. Does look like we have some brave cameramen tonight. Right, Nick coming up to start his hot lap. Come on, camera app, work with me. Pushing it right up to the edge there. As you can see, I've got the speedometer up there, so gives you an idea. 213 kilometers through maggots. That's an absolutely blistering amount of speed. I honestly do not know how they did it back in the day without tons of runoff and gravel traps to try and save you. It was most certainly not for everybody to be racing in these cars. Flying through Abby. Looks like compared to Nick's outlap, he's about 6 seconds up on his delta. So, as to be expected, all I want to see is the lap time popping up, and he must have invalidated. Okay, let's go find someone that's maybe on a good hot lap. Renew Leach manages to finish at 146.3. Franco Erasmus pops up on a 147.4. Yuri coming in with a 148.9. I see Byron Thompson sneaking into second there. Ruan Greiling coming up to finish a lap. 5.5, well, 6 minutes to go. So still a decent amount of laps to be run. Ruan popping in 146.7. I vaguely remember their times being slightly faster, but we'll have to wait and see how things pan out. Ryan still on his outlap going through Stowe now. He'll be heading down to Club Corner and then have to work his way through Abbey Corner still, Abbey Curve still. It's, as I said, it's all about being consistent and smooth here. Lots of understeer, but it pushes it right up to the track limit. 200, what's the top speed? I wonder if this isn't one of the faster sections of the track. Maybe they gain more speed out of the on the hanger straight. I'll have to have a look just now. Ryan pops in with a 1 minute 48.8. Nick still trying to come and complete a lap. That is the last corner that he's coming through. He lands a 144.1, so comfortably ahead. That was, I think, compared to Stefan, about 2 seconds. Definitely 2 seconds on the new Leach. Maybe let's track down Stefan. Ah, no, Stefan is probably on an outlap judging by this, so his delta showing 6 seconds. Don't think anybody is up. Bjorn Buchner, 4-5. He's gaining a bunch of time here. So I don't see him on the timing grid, so he probably invalidated a lap. But if he can just finish this one, he does not pop up on the timing screen. Oh, it's so difficult with these cars getting a valid lap set. Sean Viveje coming to finish one of his laps. He's also not on the timing tower yet. That's what I was speaking about with the banker lap. Make sure that you're done. Okay, so Sean is on there now, but Ryan Hill just bumps him back to 10th. Let's go see Nick. Oh, he's 8/10ths quicker, so he's on a 43.3, which was about the times that he was setting last time round. We did have, 17 drivers earlier tonight, so we're still expecting some more to be setting lap times. Roan Greiling managing to start in the top 3 in the previous race. He's still hunting for some more lap time. crosses the finish line and he bumps up into third, and then Pieter Geldenhuys snipes it away from him, banging into the pits there. Bjorn Buchner he's right behind someone there, not sure who that is. One of his fellow Aldo Scribanti drivers, it seems. So Bjorn, okay, does a 147.9 and immediately jumps to pits to start another lap. Ooh, Sean not feeling it tonight, it seems. Hopefully that's rather a hardware issue and he'll be back. Okay, Christy Simon on a decent lap now. Just loses it. That's not gonna be ideal, and he won't be able to go back out for another lap. Ryan van Wyk, 9/10 up on his delta, so it's always worrying to me when you kick out the rear that much. But that was much faster, so he gains a position and he's now on 8th. Valerio Antonucci 11 seconds up on his delta. He's not even on the timing screen yet, so he's been struggling to get a lap in. Let's hope it's a fast one for him, because this is his very last attempt possible. He banks in a 149 dead, and that's good enough for 13th. I think as long as you've got a valid lap, you know that you're not starting from the rear. Ooh, Renier getting very squirmish into Stowe there. That's one of the problems I found with this car. Well, not a problem. You have to drive around it. Is if you're braking too hard, as the car slows down, you need to be careful of locking up the wheels and getting the rear too squirmish before you apply throttle. Otherwise, it will come back and bite you. Essentially, you want the car to settle first before getting back on the throttle. .225 kilometers. I've forgotten to have a look at what the top speed is on the Hangar straight. He loses a bit of time there, but that is good enough to bump him into the third place. Right, I'm gonna go for a quick ad break while we wait for everybody to get to grid. Alrighty, we're back. Just still waiting for everybody to be bumped to the grid. So we've got 15 cars here now. We'll see how things look. I'll just jump back to the third position starter there. I think that was... it's Renier, yes. Let's go find that Start camera again. Hey Moritz, yes, these cars are a little difficult, but they're a hell of a lot of fun to drive. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights. Hear those engines rev. Don't be too hard on it. Oh, Nick Paul is just showing he can get a blistering start. Bjorn losing out a bit there, it seems, at the start. Let's just go jump back to the front there. Nick pulling well ahead. Stefan managing to bring himself into second position there. Pieter Gelderhuis into third. Rowan Greiling dropping back quite a bit, but Renier Leach still in, well, still getting close to where we started in fourth. Nose to tail, you can almost throw a blanket over these cars. Right, so down the hangar straight, 230, just over 230, so slightly faster than the farm straight. That's why my mind was a bit blank. I'm not used to saying the farm straight. That tire screeching most likely was Bjorn Buchner and Yuri Cordier. Byron Thompson right on the back of Francois Erasmus, and he's closely followed by Rowan Greiling. Throwing it up on the inside. No, that's the outside. Can he get the exit speed that he needs? Don't cut across too much. Side by side going into turn 1. This is Cop's corner. Is it going to be a Max Lewis situation? No, it is not. Byron squeaks by, slightly braver on the brakes, and Francois has to fall back in line in front of him. In front of Rowan Greiling. Rowan will be chomping at the bit here to try and get the overtake done. He's lost a bit at the start there, but you see in the back there, Renier having lost quite a bit of ground. He must have been caught up in an incident that I missed somewhere. Actually, let's go see if I can. Oh, that's not the right one. There. So Renier managing to get ahead of Ryan van Wyk. He is going to be following Christy Simon very closely now. On the inside, give one another just enough space. Renier stays ahead of Ryan van Wyk, and they both go past Christy Simon. What happened to Christy? Christy ran wide. The understeer can be so problematic. Right, Rowan Greiling still on the back of Francois Erasmus. Not necessarily the best of exits out of there. He'll be wanting to rather capitalize on closing the gap instead of letting it grow too much. Look at how those noses dip down under braking. Yes, Barry, I'd highly recommend it. I would have loved to race these, but unfortunately I don't want to overcommit myself on racing too much, and then it means that I can't necessarily I can't be here chatting to everybody and enjoying the race from a spectator's point of view. Veneer Leach slowly working his way back up the field. He has managed to get back into ninth. Ron Phelan managing to get ahead of Francois Erasmus. Are they still side by side? No, they are not. Coming into Stowe. And as I switch away, Veneer Leach and who's that? Barry Taylor getting tangled up. Ooh, that was a very, very close call for whoever that was. Well done on avoiding that. Let's get the head back into the race, Veneer. You've shown that you can drive back here. So after the overtake, the one is closing. No, he's not closed. I sometimes get confused with who this camera is following. The one is closing the gap on Byron Thompson now. Francois not quite able to hang on. So we'll have to wait and see how things shake out there. Do you see at the bottom there's a train of cars? I'll switch to that as soon as some action starts happening there. Ryan van Beek and Bjorn Buchner swapping places here and there. Looking at the lap times, I can almost say that I'm expecting Ryan van Beek to be catching up to Denayer. Oh no, and as I switch to him. Now that was not commentator's curse. I refuse to claim that. He was already spinning by the time that I switched. Be careful, don't drive backwards too far. Just waiting, that is how you rejoin. It's unfortunate that he has to wait so far. But yeah, Ryan managing to get it going. Let's see how he can progress back up the field. Mr. Yuri Cordier still just lapping it consistently there. Byron Thompson up ahead, falling prey to both Ruan. Ooh, he must have had a moment. Yuri closing the gap on Carl Steeg, who is closing the gap on Ryan Hill. Ooh, Ryan getting very squirmish under braking there, running wide. That's going to allow Carl Steeg to get the overtake done. Ryan does run wide enough to get onto the grass, and he is not going to be accelerating as much as he wants. Christy Simon might even be able to take him on the straight. No, not quite. Gap just not close enough. Maybe didn't quite get the exit he was looking for. Back up in front, Bjorn Buchner is closing the gap on Alan Denayer. Hey, Anthony Moritz, aren't they wearing the old school helmets and goggles? But I think technically back then they weren't wearing helmets. It was leather caps. So not really much protection for your noggin. Although I think with these cars they weren't that safe in any way. So not sure what extra level of protection the helmet really would have provided. Showing his metal, going for the cutback there. They're side by side going down to Chapel. Renier runs very, very wide there, just dips a wheel onto the grass, but he does get past Christy Simon. And it's now the run down to Stowe on the hanger straight. Can he pull ahead? Christy decides to brake earlier instead. Make sure that he can keep control over the car. Renier gets a nice tight line, back on the power early. That is nice driving there from him. There are some newfangled, it looks like the Kyalami liveries. Ooh, there was contact. Who was that? Ryan Hill and Christy Simon had slight contact. Ryan waiting. I think Ryan feeling that was maybe his fault, so he's He's trying to wait for Christy to rejoin. As always, that is the type of racing we want to see. It's fine doing some hard... Ooh, Ryan getting very skittish there. It's fine doing some hard racing, but sometimes incidents happen, and then we encourage people to try and admit if they were at fault, and say, cool, let's get our heads back into this and continue some hard racing. Right. Aaron Thompson on Valeria and Tanucci, probably one of the closer gaps we'll have right now. As we saw in the first race, the gaps do start to expand a bit. Maybe it's fatigue, maybe it's just people starting to get comfortable and stretching their legs. So from here it might not be all of the action all the time, but I'll keep a close eye out for that. Bjorn. Valerio just parking it on the apex there, but it was not quite enough. Byron managing to get a superb exit, but they're side by side through Club Corner. Oh, that's beautiful racing by both drivers here. Byron manages the overtake. Now it's all about keeping your head down, not making a mistake through Abby. So easy to run wide here. Byron keeping it nice and tidy. Valerio is definitely still chasing. I don't think he's going to let up anytime soon. Mr. Jason Holden Jones, good evening, good sir. How are you feeling today after yesterday's long race? Both drivers just a little bit excited on the accelerator there, but keeping it going. Some nice coordinated drifting. That's always nice to see as well. Ooh, Vernier Leach still trying to make his drive back. Got Paul Steeg right behind him, but I think he'll be able to pull that gap pretty quickly from here on. Up in front, Pieter Geldenhuis getting oh so close to Stefan Harps, but just not quite enough it seems. Thank you very much there, Barry. It was a tough one, it was fun, but yeah, props to everybody that took part. It wasn't just me, it wasn't just the people that organized it. All of the drivers rocking up made for a tremendous show. Bradley Taylor and Yuri swapping places. Oh no, Yuri has lost it. He is bouncing all over the place. Let's rather go look at something else. It's always painful to go look back at a stream and just see when you make a mistake. So I'd rather not share that too much. Get your head down, Yuri. You can still do this. Jumping back to Ryan Hill. Ryan having been quite active this season with the commentating. He's commentated on both the first two races, and so now I seem to have another commentator that I need to battle every now and again. We'll have to find a way to compete in some way. Maybe one of the ad hoc races on Wednesday nights. Getting very, very close to Christy there. That car does look a little paper, well, crinkled paper right now, so maybe not in the best condition. Christy just losing it in front of him. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ryan does keep it together, so he can continue on. Just quickly looking Christy does get it going again. Hopefully didn't have any contact with Yuri. Yuri did maybe outbrake himself a bit there. Right. Back up to Pieter Geldenhuys. He's trying his best to chase down Stefan Herbst. I just missed their lap times as well, so I'll have to wait and see how things pan out. Keeping it very, very tight there. Pieter, a very brave man, it seems. But then again, from what I've heard, he's able to judge exactly how wide his car is, because he drives slightly differently compared to most of us. Ooh, Pieter carrying a bit more speed. Can he get the exit here? Stefan seems to be almost buckling under the pressure here. These cars seem to have been built for good exits, not necessarily for carrying all the speed through the corner, but getting the nose pointed in kind of the right direction and then flooring it and managing your throttle a bit. Right, so Stefan definitely feeling a bit more comfortable there through Abby. Pieter Geldenhuys is running slightly deep, that's going to lose him a bit of time, but Pieter doing a 1:44.9, I think that's one of the fastest laps we've seen from him tonight, given that in the first race he had done a 1:45 something during qualifying. Pieter definitely pushing hard here. Yes, Jason, I believe it would have been a tough race for a first race after such a long time, but also it's a 9-hour race. That, as a first race, that is quite a tall order. I think ultimately you two did well, given how long you've been on a hiatus. So well done on getting to the end. That in itself is an achievement in my view. I do see Yuri is in the pits right now, so he's probably trying to fix the damage that he's had. He's back out and running. Ooh, Pieter just dipping a wheel there onto the grass. That would have almost caused him to spin out. Fly. Why do you have to bother me while I'm doing this? Oh, that was a bit of a bad exit out of Abby. Although it does look like Pieter is carrying a nice bit of speed. Right, Alan Denayer managing just to keep his nose clean, keep it running, pointing in the right direction and doing some decent laps. That's Bjorn Buchner, I think, up ahead. Running very, very wide. That's going to allow Alan to close the gap a little bit. I don't think it's enough quite for him to get within striking distance yet. Back up to Pieter. He's just holding on to the rear of Stefan Herbst there. Come on, Pieter, you got this. Keep fighting. I apologize for my bias towards House Kyle Army, but currently it is my home, so I will shout for them, and if I have to take sides, that is who I'll take the side with. Ooh, Stefan getting slightly out of shape there. Does keep it together. And I'm not always sure if getting out of shape is a controlled maneuver. With these cars, they drive so differently that they can easily catch you up. That's not who I wanted to choose. I actually wanted to try and see who's maintaining the speed. So Stefan wants, let's see, 200 under that thing, and my app crashed. Okay, no, it's fine, it's fine. Yes, Dan, I am sure Nick is in his element. He is always one to love these old cars and just drives them with such absolute care. Ooh. Stefan must have had a moment. Just saw that gap close down very quickly. Stefan running defensively. No, he doesn't. Try and get a good vantage point here. Getting slightly out of shape. Stefan running very, very close to the wall there. Peter just not able to get it into gear for the... Ooh, Stefan's running wide. Ah, just at the edge there. This is the type of onboard footage that I had been hoping for. I wanted to get back on the throttle there, keep the car going. Just not able. Stefan getting slightly out of shape, but Peter is wide, he's not able to capitalize. He's got the further distance to travel. Bradley Taylor and Ryan van Wyk switching places. Look at that, just passing a back marker. Oh, Peter has to lift. Just ever so slightly you have to lift there to keep it going. That's unfortunate. Okay. Just relax. Keep it going. 7 minutes and 48 seconds to go. As I mentioned, Nick just checking out, keeping going. It's great seeing him in his element, and I'm sure he is enjoying this every bit. Although I do know him for someone to also like a bit of wheel-to-wheel racing. But this must be closer to the Lotus racing that he does in real life. So that must surely put him in his element right now. Although I don't think the slip angles are so insane in the Lotuses that he drives. Mr. Kolstig running some decent pace. Ooh, Peter has dropped back by 6 seconds on Stefan, so the pressure has gotten too much for Peter. Ooh, Carl just hanging on through Stowe. Just ahead of Carl Renier Leach. Oh, come on. What happened there in the background? Ryan Hill and Ryan van Wyk swapped places. I think Ryan van Wyk must have had a bit of a moment. So Leach still trying to make his way back. He might be nursing some damage. We can actually check that. Doesn't look like his steering column is well, he has to offset his steering, so maybe not. I'm not sure. All does look fine on this windshield. .5 minutes and 40 seconds to go. He should be able to close down on Alan Denayer. I keep having to look up Alan's name because I have this moment where I want to call him Adrian for whatever reason. Ooh, Ron Greiling going side by side. That must have been with a back marker. So Stefan doing 146s. Peter Geldenhuis 147.9. Renier manages to get the overtake done and dusted for 9th place. Alan Denayer has already lost 3 seconds, so just couldn't keep hold of Renier there in the end. If he's not careful, I'm sure Mr. Karlsteeg will be hunting down on him soon. Let's experiment a bit. Ooh, this is a very unsettling view, but it gives a good idea of how fast these cars are going. Almost 230 kilometers an hour, but yet he's apexing at 150 kilometers an hour. That's still a blistering speed for a car without downforce, in my view. Rowan Greiling must have made a mistake. He's now lost out of position on Francois Erasmus. And I think that's a back marker in between them. Suspect it's Christy Simon, yes. So he's in a bit of a sandwich, trying to stay out of the way but also get on with his own race. That's by Ruan going into the last corner, which means Ruan will now be hunting, trying to catch up. Yes, Ruan had a big moment. He lost almost 10 seconds on that last lap. Just trying to hold on here. Does look like Francois had to do a quick left there through Chapel. Don't think he's going to be able to hold on to Francois. Well, catch up to Francois before the end of the race. Mr. Nick Hodgson, where is he? Let's go have a look quickly. He's coming out of Pops, so he has just started a lap. I think, yeah, there's going to be 2 more laps. So this lap and the lap thereafter. This is the penultimate lap, which means Ruan has 2 laps if he wants to make anything stick. Francois had a very, very bad exit there. Currently side by side. Keep it clean, boys. Francois running a very tight line there. He might not quite get the exit that he's looking for, though. Karlsteeg and Renier Leach swapping places. Renier must have had a moment. Ooh, there's lots of dust here. and Nick has started his very last lap of the race. Ron Freiling and Francois Rasmus quickly navigate the back marker there. Francois running a slightly defensive line that might compromise his exit onto the farm straight. But Ron not quite running an optimal line as well. They're side by side coming into the last corner. There's a back marker to navigate. Francois on the inside, Ron on the outside. Who's going to get the better exit here? I think they might have just gotten on the throttle at the same time. Ryan Hill and Ryan van Wyk swapping places there. They're having a ding-dong battle as well, it seems. Oh no, they must have had a moment with the pit there. Side by side coming through maggots. Francois just managing to stay ahead, it seems. Both these drivers having to take slightly different lines due to how close they're running to one another. I'm curious how they're side by side, and I think Freiling has now just pulled up ahead, but Francois Rasmus has the inside line. Freiling tries to go for a cutback, but I don't think that's going to be a maneuver that will stick. Slightly wide Erasmus. Hopefully he can keep it together. Oh, Mr. Nick Hodgson managing to finish his race. Stefan Herbst, he's coming down as well. I'm going to switch to Ruan Freiling and Francois Erasmus. They are still battling it out. Francois runs slightly wide. He has to fall back behind Ruan Freiling there, but it is not over yet. Ruan will have to still navigate this last corner, make sure that he can get clear of Francois before the finish line there. Peter Geldener is coming to close it out for third. Ruan Freiling will be taking a well-deserved fourth position after a great battle with Francois Erasmus taking home fifth. Let's go see Byron Thompson. Seems to have... he's coming around the last corner now. So he'll be taking home sixth position. Valerio Antonucci still coming through Abby, being followed by Bjorn Buchner and Carl Steed to close out the last of the top 10. So, wow. First race of the season. This was a lot more entertaining than I actually expected. And yeah, I'll try and see if I can go grab some people for interviews. Let's start doing this quickly. Where is my button to do this? Don't think. All right. I need to quickly find people for interviews. All right, Mr. Nick Hodgson.
Hello, Sass. How are you?
I am fine, thanks.
You seem to be muted.
Sorry, I was muted on Discord. Yes. Hello. How are you, my man?
Very well, thank you. Very well. How did everything go? It was certainly a hell of a lot of fun from my side.
You basically just checked out, but there were a lot of battles up and down the field. Some people getting slightly out of shape here and there on their own accord. Some battles ended up in a bit of a more of a tussle than we maybe would have wanted. But I think overall it was a great, entertaining race, and I'm sure all of the drivers are just super glad that it's over now. They can take a breather and look forward to the next one. How did you feel about the car tonight?
Oh, I must admit, I absolutely loved it. I can't get enough of this car. It's just so much fun to drive. I just feel I'm a little bit in tune with it, and it's just such a joy to drive and to slide around. And as I say, I can't really say a bad word about it at the moment.
I would say more than a little bit. You're 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field, so you're definitely very in tune with it. In terms of the how this compares to the Lotus that you race, I'm curious.
Very different.
Very
the
different,
Lotus,
okay.
yeah, the Lotus behaves like a kind of a normal car. This is a whole different kettle of fish. This is almost like driving a. I've got to liken it, I guess, to the Porsche from the Legends series a couple of seasons
Okay.
ago, where you're just backing the car into every corner and then using the throttle to kind of stabilize yourself on the exit, and just balancing the slide that you need to go quickly. So maybe that's giving me a little bit of an advantage because I raced that Porsche as well. But no, this. I just like this car, Sass.
I know exactly what you're saying. I know when I was mucking about with the car, we had that first race at we had that ad hoc race at Bremgarten, and it took me 10 to 20 minutes, and then something clicked. Like I was struggling understeering into the barriers constantly, and I accidentally got on the throttle early, and the car just turned. I was stupefied. But then I had a lot of fun. Oh, it was such fun, and we are actually going to Bremgarten later in the season, so I'm looking forward to seeing that
actually.
as well.
It may be next, and that's certainly my favorite track. I must admit,
I didn't do all of my research, so you're showing how bad a commentator I actually am in terms of the calendar. Yes, you are correct. Bremgarten is next, so that's gonna be an exciting one in about 4 weeks' time.
Definitely. I must say, though, I'm super jealous of Peter Geldenhuys, who, for House Killarney, organized easily the most number of people on the grid. So, sure, I mean, I know I took the wins tonight, but I tell you what, House Killarney is going to be absolutely flying in the standings, and that's really what counts. Remember, is the house. Yeah, there is a individual championship, but really what we're looking for is the winning house, and Kyle Army absolutely off to a flying start tonight.
Definitely.
Goodness.
It's all about rallying the troops and getting everybody on board. I think I also saw a lot of Scribante cars on the track tonight, so they would have also done well. But yeah, it's all about that. And I spotted a few groups of people together on Discord, so it's great seeing people pull together, and for me, I'm excited for how exciting the racing was.
Yeah, definitely, and it's fantastic to see everybody here, and I really hope everybody's enjoying it. As I say, I certainly am, and I look forward to. In my view, the tracks just get better from here. So Silverstone was nice. Flowing track, lots of wide spaces, but now we go to places like Bremgarten where, obviously they're all mod tracks, but the Fat Alfie, I think, did most of them, or certainly a good majority that we're going to. And I tell you what, the detail he's put into the tracks is unbelievable. So just from a spectacle point of view, going to be incredible. I cannot wait.
I still want to boot it up and just see what the spectator cameras look like, because I've only ever seen it from a driver's perspective. And I'll say this, flying up the main straight, it's not that straight. You're going like 180 kilometers an hour around a bend that shouldn't be doing that on cobbles. But the scenery, you can almost get lost in it if you're not paying. Well, you shouldn't be paying attention to it because you'll crash. But it's definitely a beautiful track.
Yeah, right. I'll look out for that, and Feldbergring, which I think is about round 4. So yes. Those two are going to be, I think, a little bit of a jewel in the crown for this season for sure.
Any other closing thoughts?
Just actually. Yes, if anybody is struggling a little bit with how to drive this car, I have put a few videos up which I have shared in amongst the SimRace SA community, just on how to drive and what I've been finding, what's helping me. So anybody who's struggling or wanting a few more tips and tricks, I have put a few things up there. So just hop onto YouTube and have a look there, and hopefully that can help you out.
Yeah, and I mean. This is where I'll quickly use the plug. So if you're keen on coming and racing with us, this is the very beginning of the season. You've missed round 1, but round 2 is yet to start, and you can have one drop round. So you take round 1 as your drop round. We do races in the Audi TT, the Formula Supreme, GT3 Racing and ACC, and these absolute legend of a car, the Maserati V12s. So you can come and head in. We ask a minimum donation of 150 Rand to our our charity of choice, which is currently Abba Adoption Specialists and Social Services. We have, for this season, managed to raise 21,180 Rand thus far. And we're still expecting some extra money. So I think they said this is about the amount that helps with the adoption of one child. So while maybe not spectacular in terms of the impact, we are making a difference in whatever way we can.
I would say even great. One child getting adopted is a pretty big impact. Sus, bunch of sim racers changing the life of one person. I think that's pretty awesome.
That's what we're here for. Right, so I'm going to close it out. Thanks, Nick, for coming by. Always fun watching you race. I think you need to do a start from the back one day.
Okay.
just to give everybody a bit of a fighting chance. But I know you're also trying to just pull in as much points for your house as possible. So maybe you need to go and rally the troops a bit again and see what you can put together.
Yeah, definitely. Clearly, my leadership skills are not on par with Carl Stegen, in particular Peter Heldness. So I've got some work to do there.
As a way of getting to people. I want to just say thanks to Peter again. He's made some amazing liveries for these cars, in my opinion. And that intro video, I've been seeing compliments on the YouTube chat about the intro video. So thanks very much for that. And I'll end it out. Next Monday we'll be back in the Audi TT.
Can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it. It's the series that I'm trying to not take too seriously, but we'll be at the New Jersey Motorsports circuit.
I think.
I haven't had a look at that yet, so it's going to be an exciting one. The Audi TT's knowing like you have a bit of push to pass, so bit of sweeties you can eat here and there. I'm looking forward to it. We'll have Ryan back in the booth. He'll be chatting with everybody. So yeah. To that end, have a good night, everybody. We'll see one another on track sometime or on YouTube again. Have a good night.
Ciao.